Welcome to our channel on near-death experiences, NDEs. We'll explore stories of people who've been on the brink between life and death, returning with new perspectives. These accounts offer a unique glimpse into existence, life's meaning, and the universe. Each video is a journey through transformative experiences and spiritual discovery. We're creating a space of understanding and sharing for these extraordinary stories. Whether you're here out of curiosity or seeking comfort, we hope to bring you peace and awareness. Join us on this journey of spiritual exploration. Every moment is an opportunity to grow and love. Thank you for being here with us.
Warning: this account contains disturbing details and presents a shocking story. In 1969, I was in Vietnam, doing my duty for my country and teaching others how to do theirs. I was an instructor for the Green Berets in hand-to-hand combat during the war, a fight to the death. For me, the treatment inflicted on the enemies was like a video game, like chess. I didn't think at all about the fact that the enemies actually had personalities, names, parents, wives, children, that they were like us, with fears, goals, hopes, and personal dreams. It was simply something I didn't think about. To me, they represented only scores. The higher the number of kills, the better. Conscience didn't pay in the army, but a high number of downed enemies did. I was wild, tough, and macho. I could use all parts of my body to kill. I also trained other men in my image. One day, I acted a bit too much like a boss and risked paying the ultimate price. I was caught off guard and taken out by a mortar shell. I floated above my body, feeling no pain. I couldn't believe I could still think, see, hear, and even feel. I tried to take the pulse of my body below, but I got a big shock when my fingers passed through my neck. I knew I had been seriously wounded. A medic, whom I knew only by the name Skip, arrived, and I felt relieved. He started calling me by name, asking if I could hear him. Suddenly, I found myself face to face with him, answering his questions, yet he couldn't hear me. I noticed he was bending very close to my body, yet we were face to face. Whatever the nature of the body I was in then, I realized with great amazement that I was buried in the ground, with only my chest, shoulders, neck, and head above the soil. I thought it was really strange, but it became even more astonishing when I felt myself being sucked towards a ditch and suddenly found myself in a pit. This pit was filled with blood, guts, and body parts, with the consistency of a thick beef stew. To make things even worse, I saw men, women, and even small children with Asian features on all sides of this ditch. They were pointing at me and screaming. They tried to grab me as I waded through that nauseating horror towards a distant bright spot. These people had missing parts of their faces, bodies, and limbs. A mother held her baby, both with bullet holes in their faces. Although they spoke Vietnamese, I knew they were shouting that I was somehow responsible for their condition and their deaths. They were so terribly frightening that I tried to stay focused on the light, feeling that if I could reach it, I would be saved. None of them touched me, but I still feel they came close. One of the most frequent memories during this unbearable journey is that of a frail 6-year-old girl I had nicknamed Miss Piggy, because she always dragged herself into the corner begging for food, candy, and was dirty. One day, she came to the camp with something hidden in a bag she carried on her shoulder. She looked like she was about to do something she knew she shouldn't. I watched her carefully from a distance of about 15 meters and thought, if she pulls out anything suspicious, she'll be history. I saw her put her hand in the bag and pull out something that looked like a grenade. I thought, she has a grenade in that bag, she was sent to blow up my boys. With a single bullet, I blew the top of her head off. Later, her brother told some guys that she had been trying to find an American who could hide a puppy she had become attached to, wanting to prevent it from being part of the family's lunch that evening. Many of the guys criticized me for reacting too quickly by opening fire, as from a distance I had only seen the puppy's black head, which I mistook for a grenade. I shrugged in my usual way, saying, "She's an unfortunate casualty of war." One of the people on the banks of the river of blood and guts was this Vietnamese girl. She was screaming at me with what was left of her face. I was shocked and filled with guilt. After ending up in this pit, which seemed to go on for miles, I heard the voice of my best school friend, telling me I could get out of it. Could do it. I knew he was encouraging me, encouragement I needed to reach the light. My friend Ed had died a year and a half before this experience, in a hunting accident. Despite this, he suddenly helped me out of the ditch, warmly supporting me. I felt enormous relief, love, and acceptance again. Tears of joy streamed down our faces. "Hey, buddy," he said. "I know it was tough, but you needed it. You had become a bit too hard, and that's not like you." It wasn't really the Keith I knew when we played ball together and reluctantly went to school. I looked around and was filled with awe at the incredible beauty of the place where we both were. It looked like a meadow crossed by a sparkling river. The colors were much more vivid than on Earth. For the first time I noticed that Ed was glowing, and looking at my arm, it was also glowing slightly. He told me, "What you're doing isn't right. You shouldn't be perpetrating this massacre. Your mission is to help others protect themselves. You'll learn more about your mission over time, but for now, you need to go back and fully discover your mission." As soon as he finished saying this, I heard a pop sound and instantly found myself in pain, lying on a hospital bed. Later that day, Skip the medic came to visit me. I thanked him for saving my life. He didn't understand how I knew it was him who had tried to save me, or how I knew he had called me by name, taken my pulse, and worked on me until help arrived. I simply remained evasive and decided to keep the rest secret. Several weeks later, I boarded a ship to return home and began studying to become a teacher. After the experience in Vietnam, I felt an imperative need to protect women and children. I contribute voluntarily to building shelters for women and children who are victims of violence and exiles. Since then, I have had paranormal experiences, but I'll talk about those another time. I hope this near-death experience of mine sheds light on your research.
If you enjoyed this video or you're interested in the topics we cover on this channel, I'd be really grateful if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Share the video with someone you think might appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Preface: near-death experiences, NDEs, can be profound, life-changing events. Remember, NDEs are subjective experiences, not proof of an afterlife or a guide for living. Channel purpose: this channel shares NDE stories and information, providing a platform for open discussion without promoting specific beliefs. Disclaimer: this content doesn't replace professional medical or psychological advice. If struggling with mental health issues, seek professional help immediately. If you've had an NDE and need support, consult a therapist experienced with NDEs. We don't promote suicide or self-harm. If considering suicide, contact a prevention lifeline immediately. Suicide prevention resources: National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Crisis text line, text HOME to 741741. Conclusion: we hope you find this channel informative. For questions, please contact us. Remember, suicide prevention is crucial. If you're struggling, seek help. You're not alone.